first time ever, we're in a boat, and all of a sudden, no land in sight, and she jumps off the boat with a life jacket.
Well, because I was scared. The other couples, some of the girls look very friendly people, but they were getting ready to push me off the boat.
Oh, yes.
I had no other choice.
100%, yeah.
But I felt bad for lying at one point. And then one lady was sharing her story, and I was like, I have to tell her that we've only met a month ago, that I don't know the answer to these questions.
You have no idea how many dates we went on. I couldn't even hold her hand. I didn't get one kiss the entire time. It was insane. All these rules in her head.
And no, it wasn't rules, it's, first of all, women have tests. You got to admit it. Even if you don't want to admit it, women have tests. And we all go about it differently. It's like that you can't keep using the same cheat sheet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever episode of the Team J&V Podcast. This is my host, the V part of the J. What does J&V stand for?
Jonathan and Vanessa.
Boom. And why do I get to go first?
Because it definitely sounds better JV instead of VJ.
That's true. And it's not the JV team of a high school team. This is going to be varsity material content, correct?
Yes, correct.
That's right. So pretty much what the whole idea of this podcast is to do what?
Share some knowledge. Share things that we have been learning in the way. Talk about different things. Probably even laugh. Share some jokes, maybe.
That's right. We do a lot of that stuff already.
Maybe even get personal.
Oh, let's see. So pretty much today what we're going to be talking about is kind of a quick version of our journey. In future podcasts, we'll kind of go in much more detail. But we are now fiance and fiance. I think that's how you say it.
It's like this, actually.
That's right. Yeah. And pretty much what we're going to be talking about is kind of, okay, we're preparing for a wedding that's coming up pretty soon. We'll give you the details on that. And then we'll kind of go into what are some of the big milestones that actually got us to this point. And our ultimate goal is we see a lot of people trying to figure out this whole relationship thing. We've invested a lot of time, energy, and money into really kind of getting the foundation that we needed to really set up the rest of our lives. Now, of course, we're not married yet. We're going to keep learning. We're not thinking that we know everything. But as we learn it, we would love to just share that information over with you. Is that fair with them?
I think that's fair. It's definitely fair.
So, we got engaged when?
February 29th of this year, on leap year.
On leap year, that's right. I wanted that day exactly.
On leap year?
On the leap year. A very special day that only happens once every 4 years. I get to ask this one very special question. Will you marry me?
Yes.
We'll probably shoot a whole video just on how that whole thing went. It went like crazy. I had a whole plan set up, and then like right before everything was going on, with just a few hours, the whole plan blew up in my face. I tried to call her up. I tried to keep her kind of in the down low without really knowing what was going on. She was like, "Why are you freaking out so much?" And I'm like, "You don't even know."
I was so confused.
So from there, we actually we got engaged in February, the last day of February, and now we're getting married when?
On August 9th of 2024. This year.
So February to August, that's not that long. That's probably like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And technically not. It's like 5 months since the 29th of August. It's 29th of February, right? So why are we so crazy and what's in a rush? Are you pregnant or something?
No, and thankfully no one has asked me that question. I'm not pregnant.
Good. You're definitely not pregnant. That being said, it's kind of stressful planning the wedding, right?
It has its ups and downs. There's days that I'm pretty excited, and then there's days that I'm like, oh my God, nothing's going to be perfect. But we have our ups and downs.
And it's not like we're just going on vacation. We're normal people. I have a business to run. I have different deals going on all the time. You're doing your thing. You're an interior designer, full-on realtor as well. So as we were kind of going through it, I guess the first topic would be, when you're planning a wedding, what are some ways that people can actually reduce stress on the wedding planning?
For me, So just for some background information about me, because I'm sure there's a few other women who have never thought of their actual wedding day. So I had to start from scratch. I had to figure it out. Now, the theme, the colors, all of that. Meanwhile, there's other women who've already pictured themselves in their dress, their hair, the church, or if it's not church, then the outdoor ceremony. So the first week, I definitely thought I had it all under control. The second week, I was like, nope, I need to get a wedding planner on board and somebody who can vibe with my energy.
So that is correct. We actually decided to get a wedding planner, and to make this wedding a little bit more challenging, we're not getting married in our home state, are we? Where we get married?
No, we're getting married in Portugal.
So it's a destination wedding on top of that, and the reason it's Portugal is because we're actually both Portuguese. Both of our family members are from there. 100% Portuguese. Actually, not 100%. We took the test, and what was it?
87, 86?
I think it was 87%. We were both 87% Portuguese. I'm a little bit African. She was a little bit what? What are you?
Wales, French, Spaniard. Really exciting.
She really wanted to be Italian because she loves pasta so much, but it didn't work out that well. So that being said, so pretty stressful. We live in our everyday lives, and we're deciding to do a wedding outside of the country in just 5 months. And of course, our relationship got challenged because anytime there's stress and everything, right, that challenges the relationship. And we actually had a conversation when we were kind of saying, hey, this is almost like a blessing, because a lot of people would take a year, 2 years to plan this thing. We're able to kind of crunch this thing, and all the experience that somebody would take in 2 years, we're going to get in much shorter time.
Kind of like our relationship.
That's right. Yeah. So we actually started dating when? We kind of met in August, right? So from August, I think it was August 8th.
August 8th, and our wedding's on August 9th.
A
year later.
So that's the first time we physically met in person on August 8th. And a year later, we're actually getting married. A lot of people would call us crazy, but we'll share that on a separate podcast. It's when you know. And I'll kind of share the guy version of that, and she can share the female version of that. So the ultimate goal was, okay, we have a certain target that we want to hit. We're going to be stressed out, yes, but let's kind of go down to the basics. And one of the first cool experiences that we did have together was we went on a couples retreat ran by Grant Cardone and his wife, Elena, correct?
Correct. We were planning our own mini getaway, and then you just called me and changed the plans completely.
Yes.
That was already very interesting. I should have known back then that this is going to be a great journey.
Yes. So pretty much a little bit of background. We were planning kind of like a weekend trip in Florida. And then I'm pretty good relationship with Grant and his folks over there at 10X. And all of a sudden, I think it was like on a Wednesday, they called me up and said, hey, we're running this couples retreat. Do you want to come? Somebody pulled out. I'll give you a ticket if you want to go. You just got to get yourself there. I'm like, when is it? Oh, it's in 2 days. Where is it? Oh, it's in the Bahamas. We're like, well, we were kind of planning to go to Florida, and we weren't really dating for that long at that time, right? This was October.
Yeah, this was
so
October.
We met in August, and this was October. And all of a sudden now I get this phone call, and it's like, hey, do you want to go to Bahamas? She was like, what are you talking about? Now, she doesn't really know me at this point, right? We just kind of started dating. And what was your experience of that?
I was a little bit confused, because first you told me we were going to Florida, and then all of a sudden we're going to Bahamas. We're like getting to know each other. We still weren't, we were still very fresh, very new. We were still learning each other's favorite colors. So it was definitely a little bit confusing, but a huge part of me was like, oh, this is going to be exciting. Like, what's going to come out of this? We're going on a couples retreat. What does that even mean? We're going to Bahamas, so like it has to be fun. And it was interesting. It was definitely not boring. I part of me did think that, oh man, we're going on a couples retreat. Everything's going to be by schedule. We have to wake up at a certain time. So I already thought, oh, this is going to be boring. I'm not going to like waking up in the morning. He's not going to like me anymore when he sees me in the morning.
So I wind up giving her this phone call. She's starting to freak out, asking all these questions. I'm like, "Do you have a passport?" I don't even know if she has a passport. And then she winds up saying yes. And then I start going on the internet, changing all the flights around, trying to do all the logistics, which was not easy to do. And then from there, we wound up actually being at this couples retreat. And we were the youngest couple in the room. Everyone else has been married for many years.
We had to lie to people because, for me at least, I didn't want people to look at me like I'm crazy to go on this couples retreat with a guy I just met a month ago. So I told him, like, when we got there, we have to tell people that we've been together for like 6 months to a year, because he's not going to get the googly eyes. I'm going to get the googly eyes. So I even told them we have to get our story straight, because if these people pull us to the side and ask us individually how we met, we need to have the correct story.
And that didn't last that long because you told people the real story too.
I mean, they started asking me very deep questions. I didn't realize how personal this retreat was going to get. Like, people were tearing up. So I felt bad for lying at one point. And then one lady was sharing her story, and I was like, I have to tell her that we've only met a month ago, that I don't know the answer to these questions.
So we've learned a whole lot, and pretty much we'll kind of break down some of the cool things. And well, that was probably one of the biggest first milestones in our relationship, at least for me itself. And let's start off with what their definition of relationship actually means. And this is not just theirs, but this is actually the Webster Dictionary.
Okay, so the first definition I have: the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or state of being connected. The second one, a thing's effect on one's relevance to another. The third one, the way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave towards each other.
So the biggest things that pull out of me for this definition is the state of being connected, right, to one another, and then the relationship with one another. Or you can't really use the word relationship, but in regard to behave towards each other. And right there, it kind of cemented what does an actual relationship mean. And a relationship means it's a choice that you make to be connected to that other individual. And you have many different relationships. There's personal relationships, romantic relationships, business relationships. And in each one of those, in order for them to succeed, you have to really look at the definition, which is a super eye-opener for me. And at the end of the day, it's a choice, right? We are two different individuals, and you're coming together to stay connected. What did you see out of that definition?
So something similar to that, but more towards, it's not just you. There's two people, sometimes even more. It could be a group. Same thing as you're saying with the choice of being there. But also, since it's not just you, it's not all me. You're going to have to listen to the other person. You're going to have to communicate with the other person. You'll probably have to participate in certain things with that other person, whether it's business, relationships with an intimate person, friendship, even with your mom. Sometimes you'll just have to go out with her. You know, that's your best friend.
Yeah, that is true. So that was kind of how it all started, and this is how the book started off in the training. And this was the first time I did this training with Grant and his team. And I think after going through, and the way it worked was, it was very workshop-like, where we went through the workbook, asked questions, we wrote down our version of it, and then we were able to share. And only being together a month or so, like you said, right? The crazy thing was, I would say so they would ask us a question, I would write down my response. They would ask her the same question, she would write down her response. And when we came to share, about 8 out of 10 items were dead on. Like, even some of the wording that I used is the same wording that she used. And at that point, I was like, oh, snap. Something just triggered in my head. I think she's the one.
And I was definitely not cheating, because I was talking to the lady about my fake relationship for a year, and he was covering his whole book. So even if I wanted to see what he was writing down, he was like covering, like we were back in high school and we couldn't cheat off each other's tests.
I can get my answer. Like, I'm bringing the female to see if I'm going to marry her. I can't like give her the cheat code.
I was just curious, like, what is he going to write?
So we were actually able, I think that accelerated our relationship pretty fast. Because we were able to go deep on many different questions, some questions we probably wouldn't have asked each other in the very beginning. And say it didn't work out, would that still be beneficial or not?
Yeah, it definitely, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely glad it worked out. Yeah, I think it would definitely be beneficial because, like every other relationship, if it didn't work out on this one, then, now I know something that I probably didn't know before that I could bring on to the next relationship.
Correct. So, and that's my view of relationship is not to find somebody that you have to be with, but to find somebody that jives with you and
You want to be with,
right? Alex Hormozy once said, like, when you look at your best friend, you don't really compromise with your best friend because everything is just like kind of in the flow. And once I heard that, he was like, so why do you have to compromise with your future wife or your future husband? And so really kind of that really sunk in. And then you're the first time that I was with somebody where I don't really have to compromise. Like what fills my cup is what fills your cup activity-wise, right? There's so much cohesiveness in lifestyle. And I think the fact of going to a relationship event like this, learning about each other, even though we were super young, kind of sped up the process, either one way or the other. I'm so happy that it went the right way because we were together. But if we didn't, and I guess this is my advice for people, is kind of learn this stuff early. There's no timeline. There's no rules that somebody really needs to take to kind of, oh no, it has to be 3 months before this or 2 months before that. Like there's.
I was like that.
You were like that. You had so many rules. You have no idea how many dates we went on. I couldn't even hold her hand. I didn't get one kiss the entire time. It was insane. All these rules in her head.
And no, it wasn't rules. It's first of all, women have tests. You got to admit it, even if you don't want to admit it. Women have tests, and we all go about it differently. It's like that. You can't keep using the same cheat sheet. Every other woman would have probably done those things right away. So I had to figure out a different way.
Yeah, that is true.
And
it worked.
Just to add on to what you were saying, definitely ask a lot of questions. If there's anything that I learned in this relationship so far, it's like ask questions. All the questions. Even the nitty-gritty hard questions that you're probably embarrassed to ask. Like, oh, if I ask that question, he's probably not going to talk to me again. Ask that question right away, right on that spot.
Because if your goal is like, if you're in the phase where you're actually trying to look for somebody to spend the rest of your life with, and you're not in that like, oh, I'm just playing around phase, then yeah, ask those hard questions. The book that we actually was recommended to me was 101 questions to ask before you get engaged. We didn't get through all 101, no. But we did ask a whole lot of them. And
yeah. Some of them I never thought of those questions.
Exactly.
And then I started thinking about other people's relationship, like, did they ever go through that question?
And when it comes to the actual relationship side, right? So if the person's not for you, it's not about fitting at least in my point of view, don't fit a square peg in a round hole. Like it should flow. And you shouldn't have to change the other person to kind of be with you in order for it to work. One of my coaches said, hey, if this person never changed, would you be able to stay with them? And that's kind of like the mindset you should have. A lot of people, I think, go into relationships trying to, oh no, I'm going to change them. They're going to get better. They're going to do this. And why go through all that effort when you're trying to just improve yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. One thing is, from what you're saying, that quote from Alex. I definitely agree. It's not about changing people. It's more about those habits that the person has, whether it's your friends or your intimate partner. Are you willing to be okay with that? Like, are you okay with those little habits? Is that something that is going to bother you, affect you in any way that you can't live with that person? Or is it something that, like, you can bypass?
And one of the main things when it comes to that, the actual relationship event that we went on is when a couple has a goal together and that goal is super big. Like, for instance, our goal is to live to 125 years old. At least mine is. She's a little bit younger than me.
Yeah, so not 125 for me. It's like 119, 120.
So she's okay with that. So that's one of our targets. But the other target is to continue to grow our empire and be an inspiration for ourselves first and then for others as well. And in order for us to achieve that goal, we constantly have to push ourselves forward, which means it brings very little light and very little energy to the bullshit arguments, right? We don't really have any of those.
No, thankfully not. I think we're also, a good thing about us is we're independently busy, and together, when we're together, we're busy.
Yes.
When we're apart, we're busy. Like, we're not indulging in each other's lives where we're just always on top of each other 24/7, you know? Like, we let each other breathe, and you have your business, I have mine. You have your activities, I have mine. So I think we definitely give each other a balance of breathing. And a cool thing is that I never had in my relationship is we actually like to involve each other in our own activities or our own things that we're doing.
Let it out. Come on, go get him, girl. Give her a wall. Give her a wall. Give her a wall. Look at him. Maybe not. Maybe not. Which one is it? That right there. Is that one going? Is that one going? Hey, hey, go get him. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's my girl. That's my girl. Beautiful.
Business.
I agree. Yeah, so she started her own business as well with interior design. And like the lessons I've learned in my side, I transfer over, and same thing. On her real estate side and her interior design side, she kind of moved it over. And I think like the perfect basis of a great relationship is somebody who you're with that wants you to kind of move to the next level, and sees the better version of you and kind of inspires you to become better. Like, you're the first person in my life that actually I want to be better for. So I thank you for that.
No problem, anytime.
So for the first episode, not so bad, right? Put in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think that she knew at Bahamas that she wanted to marry me or not? After I came back from Bahamas, I don't know if she knows this or not, I actually told my mom I found the one I'm going to marry. And that was super cool. On the next podcast, we'll kind of go deeper dive. There's so many more stories. We fed a bunch of pigs.
That was awesome. I love that. That was my favorite part.
Maybe in editors, you can put some pictures of the pigs there. It almost stepped on my foot. This huge-ass pig.
Panda,
That's right. I think it was like a 600-pound pig or something,
yes,
on the beach of Bahamas. So we fed some pigs there. The story coming back to New Jersey from Bahamas, that was
the snorkeling. I don't know how to swim.
Oh, yeah. She told me that she didn't know how to swim, right? So I said, we're going to Bahamas. You got to know how to swim. Good thing I'm a good swimmer. And we actually, to her credit, first time ever, we're in a boat, and all of a sudden, no land in sight, and she jumps off the boat with a life jacket.
Well, because I was scared. The other couple, some of the girls were very friendly people, but they were getting ready to push me off the boat.
Oh, yes.
I had no other choice.
100%, yeah. So there's so many stories that we can tell, and will be entertaining for everyone to see. But if you did like this, we ask you to subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions of any way we can help you out, we're just going to be sharing our story, and put in the comments below what you think we should talk about next, because we got a lot to talk about. And as we get closer and closer to the wedding, we'll kind of create a video on the easiest ways to de-stress your wedding. That might be one of the next ones.
And maybe even things to avoid.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So what's one thing to avoid that we've learned so far?
Good question.
I guess you gotta wait for the next podcast to find that out. All right, so this is Team
V.
and you've seen the first episode of our podcast. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
Thank you.